everybody, it's Melissa Sorrentino, the Improv Sophisticate, and I want to talk today about clarity. Clarity. And I really want to talk about this in regards to how it connects to, there's a phrase that I love in football. They say the best defense is a good offense. I don't know if it's just for football, maybe it's for more. I don't know, maybe somebody really fabulous a long time ago said it, but the best defense is a good offense. Another phrase that sort of applies here is prevention is the best medicine. Now, very frequently, there are situations that arise in your improv scenes, and they can be, I guess I'll call it problematic, all right? I don't like using those kinds of words because I like everything to be so loose that like everything's okay, which I really do like in my heart believe in, but I'm trying to give some tips that will actually, up your game, so beginning improvisers, do whatever the heck you need to do to just yes and your partners and all that good stuff. But we're talking about mistakes, okay? Mistakes are things that I think people often get caught up with. And, if you're doing a scene and it's like 3-4 minutes, if all you end up doing in the scene is like just justifying and sort of defending little mistakes that occurred throughout the scene, it's not a heck of a lot of fun. My personal preference, I know like almost no one is going to agree with my personal preference, but I would actually just rather let things slide. I'm not like the most perfectionisty perfection person. I am very perfectionisty in that I like to do things better up front and learn better systems and ways to do things, but I'm not real huge on like once something's like already been set up, like let's say I'm having a party and I already set up everything for the party. I don't really care if the party's like a bust or if something gets spilled or if, nobody eats my cookies. I'm just glad that I had them out. You know what I mean? If I end up not getting the results, I can't even finish that sentence because I don't expect any results other than that I've done my best to put something out there and come what may. I don't stress about that much other than to give myself notes for next time. So like, let's say it's the end of the party and nobody showed up. I might go, next time I'll invite people. I forgot this time, So that's the point of view that I'm coming from with clarity. When we're doing a scene, if we name someone, some, arbitrary name, you name somebody David, you name somebody Mark, you name her, Sally's a big name that I hear a lot. So you name your scene partner and they didn't hear you or somebody else didn't hear you. And somehow it arises that 2 names have been labeled to this person. A lot of people, what they do is they like just hyphenate the name, like, oh, I'll just correct this and hyphenate the name. I don't have a wonderful solution. I really don't. Very frequently something will happen where somebody is named like a name and then they're given some sort of like label, like, doctor or teacher or parent, like mom, dad, whatever. I don't really have a problem with people just using a first name anyway. And, you can still be Amy, but you can still be Doc. So you could just start, interchanging those names. But when I see that happening a lot, my note that I want to give as like, my teacher self or my, coached self is let's just listen better. Isn't that so much better than what do I do? It's kind of like when somebody's on the brink of a heart attack and they're about to die from, some sort of like really kind of like bad health choices. It's a lot easier to eventually, even if they can save you, the doctor is going to be like, change these habits, please, because I can't save you every time. You could die before you get here, And I'm saying that to like the improv scene creation. Like, the better and more solidly you can build a scene with listening, with clarity, with focus, the better off the rest of the scene is going to be. And if you're looking to make the next, Oscar-winning film, and I'm not talking about the short form game, I mean, legit, you're really trying to build some kick-ass improv in your world. You're not always gonna be able to do that if you don't start to really hunker down and get some more clarity. And the habit of focus and clarity, I think, is a huge helpful tool, not just for improv, but for everything. It's just far, far easier. I know it's harder and you front load it with more work, but on the back end, you get to coast better. So I'm really big on that. Listen to each other when you're talking. The best defense is a good offense. And when I say that, I'm considering that you and your scene partner and any other scene partners, you guys are a team. You're the team. It's not you, scene partner A versus scene partner B. This isn't the offense, defense. Both of you want to play a good offense. If there's an opponent here, it's either the audience or a critic, or just maybe your opponent is just shitty improv, and you're fighting for some good improv, right? So you're on the same team and you want to have that offense, which means, pass the ball, get it tight, get it right to the receiver, aim that sucker. And the way that you aim better is by having better focus. If you don't have good focus, you can't have clarity. So on the inside, you have to be focused. Like, I'm focused right now doing this. I'm looking directly at the camera lens. I am looking at you, camera lens. Boom, 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 boom. It's focus. And I want you guys, when you're playing together, to start with your own focus and then have a shared focus where you're both together focusing on that scene. And the easiest way to do that also is clarity. You need to, when you are the instigator of information, you need to, when you're the QB, you've got to toss that ball with clarity as best you can. You've got to really aim that. And I know it's difficult because you don't know what you're going to say yet. But part of that is some brevity. Be succinct as you can and train yourself for that. I'm not great at that in my life. I'm far better at it in improv. And one of the ways to do that is to be succinct, and instead of saying yes and just yes and release. It's difficult because we want to control things, but we need to relinquish that control to the moment. And, instead of saying this morning when I woke up and got into my yellow car, I had barely pulled it out of my driveway before it exploded. Okay, that might be like a decent, like a nice opening sentence for many, many things. It might even work for improv if your partner is able to retain all that. But if you're having a struggle with clarity, or if you're working with a scene partner, they need to be able to listen. They can only listen to so much. So if you're just distilling that down, you might say, this morning my car exploded. It's faster, it's more to the point. But if you use all those descriptors, you might have a scene about a yellow car, but that should be a little bit of a build between two people, not just like you're splaying out an entire paragraph. Your scene partner's like, oh my goodness, I'm already folding laundry. I don't know who you are. You said so many words, I can't really hold them all in my cachet. So you want to, you really want to have that connection with your partner, that while you're talking to them and you're observing how much they're absorbing what you're saying. And while they're listening, they're communicating back to you how much they can genuinely, carry. It's an eye contact thing. I'm huge on eye contact, but the eye contact, the clarity, the focus, the shared focus, all of that creates something that I'm going to just call, I'm going to call it simplicity. The most simple, distilled down things that you can do, especially as you're learning and you habituate that, the more you're going to have that good offense. And then you're not going to always be on the defense. Somebody's just doing like something with their arms. I don't know. Are you digging a hole with a shovel? Are you sweeping? All that is fine. It's fine if I don't know. But if you are just being vague with your arm movements, then if I label you as, somebody who is stabbing an elephant with, a pole, I'm saying that to you like, hey, quit poking the elephant. You might be like, in your head, and I see this so often, this is why I want to tackle this. In your head, you could be thinking, well, I was sweeping and she's wrong, and the whole audience saw me sweeping, so now I have to fix this problem. Well, maybe the problem is your space work is vague, and that's no problem at all as long as you are flexible enough to adjust. And if you put out there something you thought was sweeping and somebody called it poking an elephant, it's poking an elephant now. Stick with it. And a lot of times I'll see somebody like fix the scene by going like, okay, I'll stop poking the elephant. As soon as I set down this broom I was just sweeping a bowling alley with, this pole that I was poking the elephant with earlier, I will now put that down too. That's a bit convoluted, but seriously, it gets that crazy when you watch people do improv scenes, and it's like, gee, did you really want to have a scene where it was two cerebral improvisers kind of arguing about whether or not that was a pole or a broom? Or would you rather get to that juicy part where you guys are having a relationship and, there's something, to really sink your teeth into? So the faster you can get that clarity, shared, that is going to just continue to build moments that are much more rich, one after the other. Okay? So begin with focus, put that into clarity, and then together put that into the shared clarity and the teamwork where you're really reading each other and sensitive to what one person's picking up, what one person's not. And that's by being that, that giver of clarity and that receiver of clarity. Okay? I want to leave with a quote. I think I remember something about, I want to say it was Da Vinci that said this. I think it's been attributed to him. But the quote is something to the effect of, simplicity is the highest form of sophistication. And clarity, of course, creates more simplicity. So let's be sophisticated. Oh my gosh, it's the Improv Sophisticate. How cute is that? Okay, bye guys. Take care.